Can you believe Germany, one of the greatest football nations in history, has just suffered their first ever away defeat in World Cup qualifying?
Absolutely bang average. I mean, you think about historically, and that's all we can do.
Wanting to be one of the best players in German football. Show us how good you are. This is unacceptable for German football.
On September 4th, 2025, the four-time world champions were beaten 2-0 by Slovakia, a result that stunned fans across the globe. For a country known for its consistency and strength on the biggest stage, this loss was more than just another bad night. It marked a historic low point. Under coach Julian Nagelsmann, Germany has now lost 3 games in a row. This has raised big questions about their direction, their players, and their identity as a team. Is this just a rough patch, or does it signal a deeper crisis for German football? Today, we'll break down what happened in Slovakia, the problems behind Germany's struggles, and what this defeat could mean for their chances of reaching the next World Cup. So, let's get into Germany's qualifying crisis and ask the question everyone is thinking. What now for Die Mannschaft? Building the crisis. Nagelsmann struggles. When Julian Nagelsmann took over as Germany's coach, the aim was simple: to restore pride in results after years of inconsistency. At just 38, he was seen as the modern tactical genius who could blend youth with experience and create a fearless new Germany. But after the 2-0 defeat to Slovakia on September 4th, 2025, questions about his leadership have become unavoidable. Nagelsmann's philosophy relies on high pressing, quick transitions, and positional flexibility. The idea was to build a dynamic Germany that could dominate possession while punishing opponents with speed. Instead, the team has looked confused and fragile. Players are unsure of their roles, defensive structure collapses under pressure, and the attack lacks fluidity. Germany have now lost 3 games in a row, including defeats to Austria and Switzerland before the shocking night in Bratislava. What was supposed to be a bold new era has turned into a crisis. The key players. No team collapses without its players failing to deliver, and Germany's current squad is a mix of stars who haven't found consistency and young talents still learning their trade. Manuel Neuer, the veteran goalkeeper. At 39, Neuer remains a symbol of German football, but against Slovakia, he looked a step slower. His reflexes, once unmatched, no longer cover up defensive mistakes. The second goal, a sharp finish from David Strelec, slipped past him with little resistance. Neuer's presence still commands respect, but his limitations now expose Germany's reliance on an aging figure. Key moment. In the second half, a misplaced pass from Neuer nearly gifted Slovakia a 3rd goal, a sign that even his distribution, long one of his strengths, is faltering. Antonio Rüdiger, the defensive leader. Rüdiger is supposed to marshal the backline with strength and authority. Instead, he was caught out of position repeatedly in Bratislava. Slovakia's first goal came after a simple through ball split Germany's defense, with Rüdiger failing to track his man. His aggressive style can inspire, but without proper organization around him, it often leaves gaps that opponents exploit. Key moment. Midway through the first half, Rüdiger lunged forward to intercept, missed the ball, and opened space for Slovakia's counterattack that ended in a goal. Jamal Musiala, the creative hope. If there is one bright spark, it is Jamal Musiala. The Bayern Munich playmaker was Germany's most dangerous player, gliding past defenders and trying to create openings. Yet his brilliance was isolated, with little support from teammates. Musiala's frustration was clear as attacks broke down around him. Key moment. Late in the first half, Musiala dribbled through 3 Slovak players, only for his shot to be blocked. It was Germany's only real chance of the game. Kai Havertz, the struggling forward. Havertz has often been criticized for inconsistency, and this match was another reminder. Playing as a false 9, he failed to link play effectively or threaten Slovakia's defense. His movement was predictable, and he rarely tested the goalkeeper. Without a clinical striker, Germany's attack feels toothless. Key moment. In the 60th minute, Havertz found himself unmarked in the box but miscontrolled the ball, wasting Germany's best chance to pull one back. The tactical collapse. Germany's 2-0 defeat was surely due to poor finishing or defensive lapses. It was also about tactical breakdowns across the pitch. Nagelsmann set up his side in a 4-2-3-1, but the midfield pairing of Joshua Kimmich and Ilkay Gundogan lacked energy and control. Slovakia's pressing forced turnovers, and Germany never recovered. The wings were another problem. Leroy Sané and Florian Wirtz struggled to stretch play, leaving Musiala to carry the creative burden. Without overlapping fullbacks or quick ball circulation, Germany's attacks became slow and predictable. Defensively, the backline pushed high but lacked cohesion. Slovakia exploited the gaps with simple passes in behind, a basic flaw that Germany failed to adjust to. The pressing system Nagelsmann prides himself on collapsed, with players out of sync and leaving acres of space. Memorable matches that defined the crisis. While Germany's struggles have built up over several months, 3 matches stand out as defining moments in their qualifying nightmare. Each exposed flaws that have yet to be fixed. Slovakia 2-0 Germany, September 4, 2025. This game will be remembered as Germany's first ever away defeat in World Cup qualifying. From the opening whistle, Slovakia played with intensity and discipline, pressing Germany's midfield and denying them time on the ball. By the 15th minute, Slovakia took the lead through Lukáš Haraslín, who finished a counterattack after a mistake in Germany's defense. Germany pushed forward but created little. Their possession was sterile, with passes going sideways and no penetration. Musiala was the only player who looked dangerous, but he was outnumbered. Slovakia sealed the results in the 70th minute when David Strelec scored with a low shot past Neuer. The home crowd erupted, and Germany looked beaten both physically and mentally. Key moment. In the 80th minute, fans watched in disbelief as Germany struggled to string passes together, resorting to long balls that Slovakia easily cleared. It summed up the disjointed performance. Portugal 2-1 Germany, June 5, 2025. Germany's struggles deepened in the Nations League semi-final against Portugal. Despite a bright start, Nagelsmann's side looked vulnerable under Portugal's relentless pressing. Cristiano Ronaldo opened the scoring with a precise finish, and though Germany equalized through Florian Wirtz, defensive errors resurfaced. Portugal sealed the win late as Bernardo Silva exploited space in the box, punishing Germany's unorganized backline. Key moment. In the 78th minute, Riediger misjudged a high ball, allowing Silva to ghost in behind and score the decisive goal, a lapse that summed up Germany's defensive fragility. France 2-0 Germany, June 8, 2025. Just days later, Germany's confidence crumbled further in the Nations League third-place playoff against France. Nagelsmann's men struggled to cope with France's energy and creativity, with Kylian Mbappé tormenting the back line. Goals from Aurélien Tchouaméni and Mbappé gave France a comfortable win, while Germany's attack produced little threat. Joshua Kimmich admitted afterward that the team lacked sharpness and belief. Key moment. Midway through the second half, Musiala weaved past 2 defenders and set up Havertz, only for him to shoot wide. It was Germany's best chance, wasted, and it left them chasing shadows. The consequences. Germany at risk. The losses have thrown Germany's World Cup qualifying campaign into chaos. With 3 defeats, they now sit outside the automatic qualification spots in their group. For a nation that has never failed to qualify for a World Cup, the possibility of missing out is no longer unthinkable. The crisis is not only about results, but also identity. Germany was once known for discipline, resilience, and a winning mentality. Now they appear fragile and uncertain. The comparisons to past failures, especially the 2018 World Cup group stage exit, are unavoidable. That collapse was seen as an anomaly, but this run suggests deeper structural issues. Another consequence is the growing tension around Nagelsmann. Once hailed as the future of German coaching, he now faces mounting criticism. Fans question his tactics, Former players criticize the lack of leadership, and the media openly speculate about his job security. What now for Germany? Germany's crisis raises urgent questions about the team's direction. Do they continue to trust Nagelsmann, hoping he can turn things around, or do they look for yet another change at the top? Stability has been lacking since Joachim Löw's departure, and frequent managerial switches risk making things worse. Squad rebuilding is also a pressing issue. Veterans like Neuer and Gundogan may no longer be able to carry the team, while young stars like Musiala and Wirtz need stronger support. The absence of a reliable striker continues to haunt Germany, with Havertz failing to fill the role consistently. Germany's Football Federation faces a defining decision: either overhaul the system now or risk an even greater humiliation by missing the World Cup. If you're a football fan, Germany's qualifying crisis is a reminder that even the biggest nations can stumble when the foundations aren't strong. A team once feared for its discipline and dominance now faces questions about its future, its leadership, and its identity. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Germany's struggles, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Julian Nagelsmann can turn this around, or is it time for Germany to make a change? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.